Roosevelt gave a famous speech, where do human rights begin? In small places close to home.
Mary Robinson is a world brand. Her record in human rights and women's leadership is absolutely unparalleled.
I was never interested in running down cases to make money as a lawyer. I was always interested in how the law could change things. I had been intending to leave my papers to the state in some way, as a former president, and somehow it was so much more personal and enjoyable that they would come here to the house where I grew up, and I'm very happy that it will take place here.
The Mary Robinson Centre is a very important initiative from the point of view of NUI Galway. It's an important initiative for Ballina. It'll be based in Ballina, but from the university point of view, it represents an opportunity for us to get privileged access to really important material located in Ballina and then made more widely available through digitisation of that material.
I think there's a story which is partly my family story, and it happened in this house and I grew up in this house. And then there's the papers of my cases that I took as a lawyer, and some of them are quite interesting cases, to Strasbourg and to Luxembourg.
Well, at present I'm archiving Mary Robinson's papers from the very beginning of her campaign for the Senate elections right through to the present day. Mary has printed off everything, so every piece of paper in every position she was in around the world is all annotated and kept. And, there's years of research in this.
There was a wonderful moment when we thought, well, I'm not dead, so we don't want to have a kind of mausoleum here. Why not have a real connection with women's rights, human rights, women's leadership?
There's a letter from Desmond Tutu, Tony Blair, Nelson Mandela, Kofi Annan. I mean, people who see what she's doing. There's one from the Dalai Lama thanking her for her putting forward the case of Tibet in China on her visit there.
Even the work I was doing out of New York, pioneering how to do human rights, would be of great interest to human rights people. And then obviously the Foundation now on climate justice. I have all those papers, a library of books, and a lot of artifacts, a lot of things that are fun to look at, and they will now be here.
I would envisage two types of activity. First of all, individual students, individual scholars, postdoctoral students or indeed PhD students spending short times here working on the archive. I would also envisage short courses where, for example, students coming from North America or indeed from around the world would come here, perhaps spend a period of time here, taking a short, intensive course built around human rights and women's leadership and using the archive as a resource to support it.
As an archive, this is of immense value because everything that she does, or everything she's done in the past, has been written down. Every email is printed off. The paperwork would start with her canvassing and her election to the Senate, and then her time as president, and then her time in the United Nations. Everything is here for the future.
I think it'll be really very interesting to try and bring part of the house back to what it would have been, and hopefully, visually a nice place to come to with some of the rooms in the house looking as they would have when I was growing up here with my four brothers. And also I have a small bedroom up above where it looks out on the river, and that's where I did a lot of my dreaming, watching the river and thinking, and then clothes being exhibited, gifts being exhibited, letters of particular interest being displayed. It will be, I hope, part of the revitalisation of Ballina and of Mayo. On the night of the election count, when I won the election and made my acceptance speech, I said that I would put a light in the window of Áras an Uachtaráin for all of those who'd had to leave Ireland. And what I completely underestimated was that that light took on a life of its own. We'll have quite a story about that, and of course it will be shining from the window here across towards the cathedral. It'll be very prominent.
We have an opportunity here to create a centre, to create a digital archive, which will become an important worldwide and certainly European level resource. Ballina should become a location in Europe where those interested in women's leadership in human rights should feel they have to visit, and that's what should be our ambition. So let's try to achieve that.
She is earth-moving and earth-changing. You know, she's perhaps one of the greatest people that Ireland's ever had. We should be very proud.